Hey, Bob Smith here for bassandbobs.com. I'm a little bit late getting my report out from my tournament last weekend. I was waiting on some equipment to show up that I was going to use. It didn't. It did. It showed up today, but I was at work, so I'll probably end up tomorrow after work having to go down to FedEx in Fort Walton Beach and pick it up myself. Oh well, what can you do? But anyway, I didn't want to wait no longer, so last weekend, last Saturday, I fished the Media Bass North Florida Individuals Tournament Trail, the second of 6 tournaments. That would be on the 10th of March, 2018, actually. I didn't do well. I finished toward the end. Matter of fact, my weight was the second lowest weight of the day. However, my biggest fish was the second biggest fish of the day. So, go figure. I didn't get nothing for either. I just want to throw that out there. We fished out of Black Creek Lodge over on Black Creek in Freeport, Florida. And I had a plan that I was going to go with. And I got to thinking, you know, when you think you changed things that you might have should have left alone. Well, I got to thinking most of the big bags are coming from up the river. The water was down. I didn't know what it looked like yet, but I know it was down. It was flooded last time. Said, okay, fine. I'll run up the river where everybody else is going. Now, at the end of the day, I probably put 125 miles or so on my old nitro. It really wasn't worth it. But I ran up the river, and my first place I started fishing was just below East River. And second cast, I put a 2.01 pound largemouth in the boat. Yes, I'm off to a good start. 5 hours later, I still had a 2.01 pound largemouth in my boat. That was it. One bite, one fish. I don't know what these guys were doing up there. I thought I knew what to do, and apparently not. So around about 11 o'clock or so, I decided, well, you know what? Let me go back to my plan and run back down to Black Creek. So I cranked up the Merc, pointed the nitro south, and 20 minutes or so later, I was at Black Creek. I put 3 more decent fish in the boat. They weren't big. They were just decent. And I ended up finishing, let me see here, ended up finishing 13th with 4 fish for 6.29 pounds. Not a very respectable showing by a long shot. I mean, it's one of those things, for me, it always turns out to be feast or famine. This was kind of famine. That 5th fish was just so elusive. I just couldn't catch the 5th fish. 2020 hindsight, I've got that, and it says, well, had you started out the day and stayed on Black Creek, you probably would have. It's irrelevant now. It's history. I can't do anything about it. I made a decision that was wrong. I corrected it. I came back a little bit. But that was it. Nothing I could do. Up the river, the one keeper I caught up there came on a chatterbait. I had another bite just before that on a crack craw, which is from creature bait from Bass Pro Shops. I pitched it up there. I got a bump, and I missed him, and I come back, and I threw that chatterbait in there, and the second turn of the handle, it got heavy, and there he was. I continued pitching the crack craw, pitching a jig, throwing the chatterbait, throwing a spinnerbait, throwing a jerkbait, throwing the buzzbait, throwing a crankbait. I almost exhausted what I had in the boat. I did not get another bite upriver. 5 hours later, back to Black Creek. On Black Creek, the name of the game for me, was a buzzbait. I caught all my fish down there on the buzzbait. I lost one that was a smaller fish, wouldn't have helped, wouldn't have kept. So is what it is. I ended up with 4 fish for 6.29 pounds. Point wise, let's see. Point wise, standings. Point wise, I am still sitting in 8th. Same place I was after the after last month's tournament. The first one, I finished 8th. I'm going the wrong direction. I just got to say that. I need to be kind of, working my way back up, not backwards. But it is what it is. The tournament is history. I am now gearing up for the next one. And who knows, we'll have to see what happens. I have ideas. I have thoughts. I don't get much opportunity to get over there and to pre-fish, to practice. So when I show up, it's almost like I'm going practice fishing only as a tournament. I've got to put it all together right now. Some of these guys apparently don't work, and they get to spend as much time on the river as they want. And it's really hard to compete with something like that. It's really hard. So anyway, that's how I did on Choctawhatchee. I have some news about something that's coming up, something that I think is going to be cool, something that I'm kind of pumped up about, if you can't tell, because I show emotion so well. But I'm talking about Northwest Florida fishing, all right? Now let me show you something right here. This is a magazine, Northwest Florida Fishing. Back in 1993, I published this magazine, and due to the cost to publish it, the time to do the layouts and the whole 9 yards, because it was done kind of old school. It was desktop publishing. It was on the computer, but it was still old school. The cost to effort just didn't jive, and I ended up closing the door and shutting it down, which, I didn't regret. I mean, it was a business decision. Things weren't going the way that they needed to go, so it went. Fast forward to 2018. It's a different world now. We have the internet. We have the video. We have audio. We have cool stuff. And I think it's only fitting that I bring it back. The domain name, northwestfloridafishing.com, belongs to me, and that's where the show's home will be. I'm not sure what else I'll do with the actual website other than use it as a container for the Northwest Florida Fishing web show. I have plans. I have big plans. It is... my roots are in freshwater, bass fishing in particular, but I was raised fishing for crappie and trout and other types of freshwater fish. So my background, we'll just say background, is freshwater. So to help offset that, I'm looking for a co-host for the show, a co-host that's versed in saltwater fishing. Who can compliment me, and I can compliment that person, and we can each be the respective expert in our field, and I can learn from him or her or whoever. Because Northwest Florida Fishing is multi-species, freshwater and saltwater. You couldn't do a fishing show for this area and not include saltwater. It would just be wrong. Saltwater is fishing is what's put this area, like Destin, on the map. It's what's made it grow. So to exclude that would be ridiculous. But anyway, I have plans for it. I'm not sure. First show may go out recorded, maybe first 2 or 3. I don't know yet. My plan is live. I want to do the show live so we can be interactive, so we can do on-air telephone calls. We can do Skype calls. We can do all kinds of stuff. And, you know, it will have the chat room along with the video. So it can be a very immersive. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It could be a very good, involved experience for everybody. And I'm really looking forward to this. I've got the cameras, I've got everything. I'm on one of my new microphones now that I don't have to have sitting in front of my face. I have a couple other things on order. I don't have a first date yet for the first episode. I will post another video, and I'll post on Facebook and let everybody know when that's coming along. It won't be a very long time from now. I really want to get this moving and going. Then I have other plans beyond that, but right now it is Northwest Florida fishing that I'm focusing on. Some other stuff I was doing I have not forgotten about, but this is more my forte, so I'm going to do this one first. So check back on Facebook or YouTube for Northwest Florida fishing, and every now and then you can punch in the northwestfloridafishing.com check out the website when it is online. Right now it's not there. I'll give you a heads up. If you wanted to punch it in, it's not there right now. It's in work. It only exists on my computer. So big things coming. Exciting things coming. I'll continue to fish tournaments. I'll continue to keep you filled in on how I do. I may end up with some other angles from some of these tournaments to present on Northwest Florida Fishing. We'll just have to see where it all goes. I said I'm in the search for a co-host. Don't know where that's going to take me, but we'll find out. I'm expecting this to be a pretty cool ride. And it may look amateurish at the beginning, but I assure you what I'm striving for is professionalism, which will include, as we go along, to upgrade equipment, better cameras, better microphones, better everything, just to produce a much better experience. So, okay, until next time, I'm Bob Smith for bassandbobs.com and Northwest Florida Fishing. And I'll see you out there on the water. Y'all take care.